Country Roads Trust and my guy, Stephen Ford, have been ranked as one of On3's top 10 most ambitious NIL collectives. That led me to ask a question. Since Wren Baker has taken over at West Virginia University, the Country Roads Trust seems to have done nothing but track upwards. And why wasn't that the case under Shane Lyons? We're going to answer that and some other questions on this episode of Mountaineer Paul Talks Football.
This is for Cameron.
What is up? Welcome in, football junkies. My name is Mountaineer Paul. You have landed right here again at Mountaineer Paul Talks Football. Guys, welcome to another edition of Mountaineer Paul Talks Football. Appreciate you guys for checking in. Before we get started, guys, I ask if you're not subscribed to Mountaineer Paul Talks Football, hit that subscribe button. It's free. Drop a comment below and let me know why you think Country Roads Trust is starting to be so successful. And last but not least, like the video, guys, as we talk about this subject. Some of you may have seen earlier today, On3 put out the top 10 most ambitious NIL collectives. West Virginia University and the Country Roads Trust sits at number 10, and you can see ahead of them are nothing but blue blood and former really successful programs. Wow, that's pretty cool. But that led me to ponder, why is this happening now? And why not under Shane Lyons a little bit more? Was Shane Lyons holding back the Country Roads Trust from being more successful? I think he was personally, but I reached out to a source who said, I can't name the source, but he said, it's not so much that Shane Lyons held back the Country Roads Trust, but he's a former compliance guy, and he was wearing two hats, compliance and WVU AD. And as a more old school type thinker, he held back, probably unknowingly, the Country Roads Trust just a little bit. Bring in Wren Baker, a guy who's connected to Mac Rhodes, a guy who's been around some of the best athletic directors in the country, and a guy that's known to have a specialty in fundraising. So his heart is kind of with that a little bit too, and what they do at the Country Roads Trust. And I think the marriage of Wren Baker, the athletic program at West Virginia, and Country Roads Trust has been a big reason why we've seen such a surge for the Country Roads Trust since Wren Baker got here. I'd like to know what you guys think. Feel like Shane Lyons had little to do with it? Do you think he had something to do with it? Do you have a lot to do with it? But why was under Shane Lyons? Look at the transfer portal classes Bob Huggins brought in, Polycat, Damon Kerrigan, and those guys. Look on the football side, same kind of deal. Not very many notable players. All of a sudden, Wren Baker takes over, and one of the best portal classes in history is put together at West Virginia, the basketball team. And Neil Brown and company, while they have a lot more bases they have to cover, they chose to go with quality players, but not superstar players. So it's more quantity over quality in this situation. Not that the players aren't quality players, they're just not superstars. Really couldn't figure out a better way to word that. But I have something else pretty cool that I want to do here, guys, and I thought this is something that you guys would like. Since On3 has named Country Roads Trust one of the most ambitious collectives out there, I thought I'd do a list. 5 direct and 5 indirect things that Country Roads Trust, being successful, is going to do for West Virginia University. Kick things off, guys. Here's a tweet from Pete Nakos or Nakos. He said, West Virginia's Country Roads Trust campaign launched a $1 million campaign, bringing in $730,000. We set a goal, he said. Hey, what did we do last year? We really kind of did it Moneyball style. This gentleman is the On3 director of NIL, so this is kind of what he does. He looks at the different collectives in NIL landscape around college football and is very connected to that. So I think there was a pretty good list he put together and was really happy to see West Virginia at number 10. We can compete there, guys. If we're at number 10, I really feel like we compete. Now, let's get to the list. I'm going to do the 5 direct things first, and then the second thing I'm going to do is the 5 indirect things that the Country Roads Trust being successful is going to do at West Virginia University. Number one, player retention. Guys, when we have Stephen Ford on Kuz's show, Kuz's Corner, the number one thing was player retention. He said, you get the 3 and 3.5 and 4-star guys in here, turn them into 5-star players. We at Country Roads Trust will retain those players. And if we need some holes plugged, of course, we can go to the portal as well. Which brings me to number 2, realignment. Guys, realignment is going to be in college football going forward. I'm not saying that I want to leave the Big 12 or believe we should leave the Big 12, but I do think having a good trust or a successful trust and an ambitious trust is something that conferences are going to look for going forward when it comes to realignment. What do you bring to the table? Number 3, obviously we're going to be able to get better players from the portal, i.e. players like Jesse Evers in basketball or Devin Carter in football. Number 4, team morale, guys. I think personally that team morale is a big deal. And what has happened with the West Virginia basketball program is the opposite of team morale. Obviously, you have a coaching change, but what happened? Players went to the portal. They got a little NIL bump, came back to the team. Other players heard about that. Team morale went down the drain. If you've got a healthy trust, which I think we do right now in this situation, it just took everybody off guard. In a normal scenario, everybody's going to be getting their worth, and I think team morale is going to be up as a result, which leads to number 5, winning. I think winning is the biggest consequence to having a healthy NIL trust. Winning cures everything in college sports. Teammates are happy, coaches are happy, athletic directors are happy, nobody gets fired, fans come to the games, revenue is impacted, revenue is brought into the university, people come to games, it's a beautiful thing, and it's what we all want. If we can compete at a top 10 level in the Country Roads Trust going forward, we're going to have a chance to make college football playoffs, we're going to have a chance to go to bowl games like we used to go to. All the things we used to love as a fan base could come back. So I think this is a positive sign. People that are looking into the situation are reporting back saying, yes, confirmation, validation, whatever you want to call it. The Country Roads Trust is one of the 10 best out there. And there were some big names left off that list, guys. Guys, really hope you enjoyed this episode of Mountaineer Paul Talks Football. Please do not forget to like the video. Comment below, guys. Let me know what you think. Do you agree that Wren Baker has had a positive impact on the program as far as the Country Roads Trust goes? Do you agree with my suggestions and the impact on the overall program? And if you do, please subscribe to the channel, guys. We'd really appreciate that. Really appreciate everything you guys do for us here. Appreciate your support. Part 2 will be here tomorrow. I have the 5 things that indirectly affect the program. Hope you'll be looking forward to that. This has been another edition of Mountaineer Paul Talks Football. This episode is over. I'm out.